I have the time as 7:32, and I will call this public hearing and regular business meeting of the mayor and council for the city of Snellville, Georgia, for Monday, December 12th, 2022 to order. We do have a quorum. We have everyone present. We'll start with the invocation by Chaplain Jackie Turner.
Good evening, everyone. Let us pray. Lord, as your children and co-laborers, we will walk in the ever-developing maturity that enables us to be in perfect harmony and full agreement in what we say, perfectly united in our common understanding and in our opinions and judgments. And if on some points we think differently, you will make it clear to us. We live up to what we have already attained in our individual lives and in this group. We will let our yes be simply yes and our no simply no. Make each of us an instrument of your grace. Bless us and our differences and undergird our courage to stand together. Be with us as we gather together, and may we feel your presence among us. Cleanse the thoughts of our hearts by the Holy Spirit. O God, be present with us always. Dwell within our hearts with the light, and thy Spirit guide our thoughts and our actions on this day. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain. And now we'll have the pledge to the flag, led by Dave Emanuel. And now we move to ceremonial matters, and I will administer the oath of office to Norman J. Carter for the Board of Appeals, Post 1. Norman, if you want to come forward. Very good. We appreciate Norman stepping up to be on the Board of Appeals. And Lisa, on this next, did you want me to do this? Okay. Now we'd like to present the winner of the 2022 Volunteer of the Year Award to Mrs. Ernestine Jones. Hang on. Let me read everything. We're not done yet. Ernestine has been a member of the center since 2018. You need to know what you're cheering about. She recently retired from News America Marketing and is enjoying volunteering with the Snellville Active Adults. Ernestine not only participates in several of the programs at the center, she also regularly volunteers with the assembly of their newsletters. She currently serves on the advisory committee as a representative from the Travel Club. The last few years, Ernestine has helped tremendously with coordinating the Black History program that has become a huge success. Also, with her extraordinary leadership skills, she willingly stepped up to organize the current Red Hat Society named the Royal Hatters of Snellville by offering to serve as their queen. She has put in a multitude of hours coordinating events and socials for this fun and energetic group of ladies. She enjoys volunteering at her church as a greeter, where she takes pride in leading the Joy, just older youth group. She also likes to participate in social events for the edification of women. She is always eager to get involved and help wherever she is needed. We want to congratulate Ernestine on her extraordinary service and dedication to the active adults with the Parks and Recreation Department. The center couldn't do all the things they do without the wonderful volunteers like Ernestine. It's with great pleasure and sincere appreciation that on behalf of the City of Snellville and the entire Parks and Rec Department that we present this award to Ms. Jones. And just to add a little bit more to that is this city runs on volunteers, and we have an incredible group at Parks and Rec, and also with the Tourism and Trade Association and all the events we do with the Snellville Youth Commission and all the things that they do. It's just a tremendous crew of volunteers, and it's people like Ernestine that will step up and just fill in that void of whatever needs to get done, gets done. So let's join me in congratulating Ernestine. All right, now we will move on to the minutes. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve the minutes of the November 28th, 2022 meetings.
There's a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
With a motion and a second, all in favor, please raise your hand. That is 6 in favor with none opposed. We have no invited guests or committee or department reports, so we'll move to the approval of the agenda. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve tonight's agenda with one change. We're going to add under new business, item D, resolution to extend the moratorium on build-to-rent developments.
Will you also amend your agenda to include the 2022 budget amendments?
Okay. Also, we want to make an addition under the consent agenda. Add item
A.
A. Thank you. 2022 budget amendment.
Okay, so there's a motion to approve the agenda with 2 amendments. One is to add under consent agenda approval of the fiscal year 2022 budget amendments, and then also to add under item D, under new business, a resolution to extend the build-to-rent moratorium. That is the motion made by Ms. Linsky. Is there a second?
Second.
There is a motion and a second. All in favor, please raise your hand. It is 6 in favor with none opposed. Now we have one item under our public hearing. We have item A, second reading SUP 22-07, consideration and action on application by Brian Vu, ABN Investment Group LLC, the property owner, requesting a special use permit for a drive-through restaurant at the former Crystal Restaurant location on the 0.775 acre property zoned BG General Business District and located in the Town Center Overlay District at 2484 East Main Street, Snellville, Georgia. That is tax parcel 5026240. This is a public hearing and a second reading, but this item is, I think, a motion's about to be made to postpone this, so we will, we'll just go straight to the, we'll go straight to a motion. Someone,
Madam Mayor, I make a motion that we table the SUP 22-07 to our February 27th regularly called meeting.
okay, there's a motion to table this SUP until February 27th. Is there a second?
Second.
I heard Solange louder than Gretchen, so we'll go with Solange on the second on that. This motion was for a special use permit to allow a drive-through at the old Crystal, but it's come, at the Planning Commission, it came up that there's actually some other variances that need to be, that are needed on that building as well. And so the council decided to postpone this until those variances can go through the Planning Commission. So that will go back through Planning Commission for this, this issue. So we have a motion to table and a second. All in favor, please raise your hand. That is 6 in favor with none opposed. Now we have under consent agenda, we have one item, fiscal year 2022 budget amendments. This is our normal end of fiscal year, which was June 30th of 2022, so about 4 months ago. That fiscal year ended, and whenever our audit's finished, we come back and clean up some of the budget numbers to align with the actual revenues and expenses that occurred. And we have that on the consent agenda. So all in favor of the consent agenda, please raise your hand. That is 6 in favor with none opposed. We have nothing under old business. Under new business, I have a nomination to make of Melvin Everson to the Snellville Tourism and Trade Board for the 2023 to 24 year. That's my nomination, so I'm asking for council's confirmation. All in favor, please raise your hand. That is 6 in favor with none opposed. Melvin's been currently serving, so this was just extending his term. We have first reading, UDO 22-03. This is item B on the agenda. Consideration and action on text amendments to the Unified Development Ordinance, UDO, for the City of Snellville, Georgia, adopted on October 26, 2020, and last amended on November 28, 2022. The proposed amendment is to establish definitions and regulations for certain zoning classes for build-to-rent developments. Articles and chapters which may be affected by the amendment include Article 3 of Chapter 11, General Provisions, Articles 1, 2, 6, and 7 of Chapter 200, Zoning and Land Use, and Article 1 of Chapter 400, Land Development. This is a first reading, so we will not actually do a public hearing or have discussion on this item tonight. Is there a motion?
Motion to waive the first reading of UDO 22-03 and place it on the January 9th agenda for a second reading and public hearing.
There is a motion to waive. Is there a second?
Second.
So a motion and a second. All in favor, please raise your hand. That is 6 in favor with none opposed. We have item C, second reading, ordinance 22-23, consideration and action on an ordinance to amend the code of the city of Snellville, Georgia, to provide for regulation of street racing and reckless driving exhibitions. This is an ordinance, I explained this when we did the first reading at our last meeting. The county, and also I know the city of Grayson, I'm not sure what other cities may have also adopted it, put in an ordinance to allow for, I don't know how you want to say it, easier arrests for street racing and reckless driving. This has become a problem all over Metro Atlanta, and it's very, very dangerous activity. This allows our police department to actually do arrests for not only the drivers of vehicles, but anyone who gathers to watch and film it, anyone who participates in organizing it, can all be arrested. And we've got some, and there's penalties that go with that to try to help keep that type of activity out of our city. So with that explanation, is there a motion?
Motion to approve ordinance 2022-23.
There is a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Yeah, we got it today. I'll get Gretchen on that second. So we have a motion and a second. Any discussion by the city council? No? Then I will call for the vote. All in favor, please raise your hand. That is 6 in favor with none opposed. And then next we have item D. New item D, resolution to provide for an extension of time to study the changes necessary to the municipal code and unified development ordinance of the city of Snellville related to the regulation of for-rent housing developments in the city of Snellville. This is an extension of this moratorium for 30 days past expiration date. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve the extension of the time to study the changes necessary to the municipal code and unified development ordinance of the city of Snellville related to the regulation of for-rent housing developments in the city of Snellville.
There is a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
There is a motion and a second. All in favor, please raise your hand. That is 6 in favor with none opposed. And that one, I didn't explain it very well, but we had a moratorium on anyone, to prevent anyone from putting a build-to-rent application in to the city, and that moratorium expires in January. And so we are in the process. That was the first reading tonight that we had in the public hearing for the UDO changes. Were for those, and this is just to make sure that we've got enough time. It's going through the Planning Commission next week, and then we'll have it on our agenda in January for the second reading and the vote on that. But essentially, on the build-to-rent neighborhoods, is we're requiring wider streets, longer driveways, and there's a few other upgrades to our normal subdivision requirements that to try to head off any issues from those types of neighborhoods coming in. With rentals, sometimes you tend to see a lot more on-street parking and things like that. So we want to try to make sure that we've got the regulations in place, that the development is done properly. And that is all of our business for this evening. So we will move to council reports, and we'll start with Councilmember Solange Desang.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming. This past Thursday, I had the privilege of attending a Christmas catered dinner and scholarship fundraiser for our school, which is South Gwinnett High School, our local high school. All funds that were raised will support our students at South Gwinnett High School and allow them to participate in next semester's South Gwinnett High School PTSO Inner Me Pageant and Distinguished Gentleman Scholarship Grant Programs. This is very good stuff that they're doing at South for the students who really need that motivation, you know, to wake up each day and say, okay, I'm worth it, that type of thing, you know. So if you can support them in any which way, look out for future events that the PTSO will hold. Also, a quick reminder that we are approaching the deadline of December 15th, and that is tax day. Your taxes are due on that day. So don't forget to pay your property tax via mail, in person at City Hall, and online. And on that note, I want to wish each and every one of you happy holidays, happy Kwanzaa, Feliz Navidad y Prospero Año Nuevo, vrolijke kerstfeest, and enjoy all the holidays and the festivities. Stay safe. See you guys again in January. Take care.
Thank you, Solange. Councilmember Warner?
Well, the mayor kind of stole my thunder. I was going to go over the build to rent issues, but I'll just briefly go over it. This has taken 6 months to get through, and it's 50 pages long. What started off as one little paragraph of 7 or 8 bullet points turns into 50 pages because our Unified Development Ordinance is extremely complicated, and if you change one thing, it affects another. So 50 pages, it took a lot of work for our staff and our legal team to get this through. And basically, it comes down to if someone's going to come in and build a rental neighborhood, we want to make sure that the people who live there are going to be safe. And in the neighborhoods where we've seen a great deal of rentals, there's a lot of street parking and some other maintenance issues. So what this change to our UDO is going to do is make it, the only changes really are that the house has to be set back a little further from the sidewalk, a total of 30 feet from the end of the sidewalk to the garage door. That way they'll be able to actually park in their driveway, a number of cars. And also the streets in that rental neighborhood will be 3 feet wider than what our standard street is in order to make sure that emergency vehicles can travel in and out of a neighborhood, even if there are people parking on the street. Even those landscapers who like to park 1.5 feet off the curb will still be able to get our emergency vehicles by, because it's important for people to be safe. And we're only dealing with the specific issues that tie into what we're seeing in our rental properties. The other thing is, if you're going to have a neighborhood that is all corporate-owned rentals, all the exterior maintenance from the grounds to the actual structure will have to be maintained by the HOA or by one entity. So our code enforcement and our neighbors aren't going to have to run around and say, Norman didn't mow his yard. It'll all be taken care of, because it's important, whether you are a property owner or whether you're a renter, that you have a safe, nice community to live in, and that's all we're trying to do. So that was 6 months' work. Hopefully, y'all all have great plans for the holiday, whichever holiday you choose to celebrate, and I hope you all have a great holiday, and we'll see you back here in January.
Thank you, Todd. Councilmember Linsky.
Hi, good evening. We are joined tonight by several members of the Snellville Youth Commission, and I really wish that they would sit up front, because they should be at the very head of our seating area, because that means they're getting very close to where we are sitting up here. So if you could all please stand. Be recognized. Thank you. This is an incredibly busy time for high school students. It's exam week. college admissions. They're stressing over early acceptance, finances, and they have chosen to be here tonight. And that's really, really special. So if you get a chance to please thank these students personally for engaging in our community. Happy holidays and have a great new year.
We kept the meeting really short for y'all so you could get home to study some more. And now we'll move on to Councilmember Schultz.
Good evening. Well, as you're planning for your holidays coming up, do not forget that we have our last farmers market before Christmas or before the holidays this Saturday. We're expecting about 28 vendors, which is a large group for our parking lot market. And of course, they'll have everything from meats to serve with your holiday meals to fresh produce to lots of sweets. There's a few crafts mixed in. We don't take too many crafts because we are a farmer's market. And of course, we'll have our new coffee vendor that's serving all kinds of wonderful coffee beverages. And with that, I just want to wish everybody the most wonderful holiday season, and I hope you have time to really enjoy it with those people that are most special to you. Thank you for coming tonight.
Thank you, Gretchen. Mayor Pro Tem Emanuel.
Thank you. First thing I'd like to do is congratulate Norman Carter for stepping up to be on the Board of Appeals. I've gotten to know Mr. Carter over these past few months, and he's going to be an outstanding addition to the Board of Appeals, so welcome. Don't forget the co-op. As you can see, the trees in the lobby have food at their base. Is where you vote for the tree that you like the most. There's always a bin out there that you can drop food in, and this is a critical time of year for the co-op, so they'll appreciate any donations you can make. Thank you to the Snellville Youth Commission people who showed up tonight. You can come back anytime, so don't be shy. And really appreciate you taking the time to attend, and want to wish everybody a very happy holiday season and a safe New Year's. Yeah, it's something that seems to have calmed down over the years, but I remember it used to be you're taking your life in your hands if you go out on New Year's Eve. And I think we're in a lot better shape than we used to be, but you still need to be careful. So I hope everybody has a great and a safe New Year's.
Thank you, Dave. And just a few items. At my church, St. Oliver Plunkett, we had a very special visitor over the weekend. We had a cardinal, the Cardinal of Guadalupe, or I'm sorry, Guatemala. I kept screwing this up in our earlier meeting too. He's from Guatemala, and he is the cardinal there, Cardinal Ramazini Emiri. And he actually visited our church this weekend for the special holy day, Our Lady of Guadalupe. That's why I kept all these G words are screwing me up there. But it was really an honor to have him. It's the first time we've had a cardinal, which in the Catholic Church, a cardinal is a step below the Pope. So it's it's a really big deal to have someone of his level to attend our parish. And so we had a dinner Saturday night at the church to honor him, and it was a really nice thrill to get to meet and talk with him. I also had the opportunity to meet with two consulates that are located here in Atlanta, the one for El Salvador and one for Guatemala as well. And got to chat with them a little bit about exactly what they do. They work with people from their respective countries with passport issues, with getting visas, with issues they might have here in the States. With a lot of the immigrants coming in, they help and assist on some of those programs as well. And Monica from the El Salvador consulate is going to actually be at St. Oliver's at the end of January to meet with people who may be in need of assistance. And once I get the details of that, I will have the city also publish that on our Facebook page and website, so that if anybody in the community is in need of those services, it'll be a good place to turn to. And with that, I would just like to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, any other of the holidays that you may celebrate, New Year's Eve, please be careful. But I hope that you have a joyous season and a great time to slow down for a little bit and just enjoy family and friends. We all need it now. There's people coming out of COVID. There's still a lot of issues with people feeling very isolated, and just being able to take that time and, be with people that you know, I think is really beneficial. With that, I will close the mayor's report. I do have one person signed up for public comment, so we'll call them first, and then, of course, anyone else that would like to speak may come up after that. Mr. Flynn, if you'd like to come forward, give your name and address for the record, please. You've got 5 minutes on one topic.
Okay, can I have the projector? The device?
No, sir, but if you've got something to show, you could show us. You've got pictures.
Sure, I got a whole pile of them.
Okay.
What I would like to talk about is silt discharge in the stormwater from the town center retention pond.
Okay. I need you at the microphone, though, because anybody listening later won't hear if you're not.
Well, then it makes it difficult.
And Madam Mayor, these, I believe these will be the same photos that I forwarded everybody.
There's more than what I gave you.
Okay.
But that's just an overview.
Okay.
This shows the inlet inside the retention pond and the outlet going to the stream behind Eastwood Drive.
So these are the ones that are off of Wisteria behind the development?
They're Wisteria, the retention
Correct,
pond,
okay.
Eastwood Drive.
Larry, you're talking to the microphone, and I'll read out your pictures.
Well, I can't remember all the pictures.
Well,
so-
no, I know, but
Okay.
you say what it is, and I'll get it to you.
Okay. And this one here on that side just shows the size of the stream
Okay.
that this is flowing into. And here's one from a couple of weeks ago that just shows you that it's a lot of silt. And then I have varying ones here that go back 18 months. This one shows that the water coming in from the local stream is clear, and the water going out is mixing with the silt. This just shows that it's going back to March of 2021. This shows that there's silt in the drain area. If you look at the first picture, this is coming from under Wisteria into the pond. That shows that a lot of the silt came from the area between Wisteria and Oak. This happened long before the north side construction happened. Also on there's an eroded area that you can see in the satellite views. I don't understand it. You got a sinkhole or something out there. So,
Okay.
and these are the other pictures. And my concerns are, how do we clean this up? I suspect there's probably a foot at least of silt in the retention pond. I don't know. If I can get a plan, maybe we can look at it and see where how far it is up on the rocks and that sort of thing. I would like the cost of any cleanup to be borne by the contractors, not the city, not my stormwater fee. How did we let it go on for 18 months? Who enforces this? It's the city, right?
Should be.
Yes, okay. And so do we need, and also if it's happening here, where else in the city might it be happening? I mean, is it just, I understand the town center's your pet project, but is it happening other places? And I did have some comments earlier this evening that I will be able to have a meeting with people with the city, so, to talk about this. But that's what I wanted to, you know, it looks like there's a breakdown in enforcement. And then there's gonna be a cost, and I don't want my stormwater fee to pay for it, because it's not there, so, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Flynn.
Yep.
And now, anyone else, you don't have to be signed up on the sheet if you want to come in and make a comment. 5 minutes on one topic, please.
Kurt Schultz, 2027 Tanglewood Drive. I've spoke on this several other times, and it seems to be getting worse as it goes along, but this is about the muffler noise we hear practically all night anymore up and down most of our major highways. I'd like to just pass out the Georgia ordinance. Since you did so well the first go around, if you want to pass them out to your you'll be glad to get the microphone out of. But anyway, Georgia does have an official code dealing with exhaust systems and noise. It's not very definitive about the last thing on the list. It says it shall be unlawful for any person to sell or offer for sale any muffler which causes excessive or unusual noise or annoying smoke or any muffler cutout, bypass, or similar device for use on a motor vehicle or for any person to use, blah, blah, blah. Any person violating this subsection shall be guilty of a misdemeanor. I know through our classes that we went through with the police to stop, you know, a vehicle is one of the most dangerous things our police officers can do. But also, this is one of the most annoying things I think that we have going on in the city at this point. These cars running around all times of the night and day. I mean, you can hear them for miles away, you know, in the middle of the night, anytime. And I believe other cities have already, you know, put in ordinances for this. I believe Lawrenceville has already, and you know, they have authorized their police officers to go ahead and pull over cars. We went ahead and did something with the fireworks ordinance. We stayed within the state laws. And what I'm asking for is let's follow the state laws on this also. You know, they say, you know, you can pull them over for this, you know, loud noise. Let's do it. Let's get something started here and get the word out in the city that you're not coming through our city and just making horrendous noises. You know, it costs money to get these noise meters, to get a decent one that, you know, will be effective. And, you know, I'm hoping they could use money from the school camera funds for this. This to me is kind of like, you know, the broken window theory. If we let this go, it just escalates into other problems with motor vehicles and so on. I think it really is something we need to do something about. You know, I congratulate you for going ahead with the street racing ordinance tonight, and I would hope that, you know, in a few months maybe we can do something with this noise ordinance for mufflers also. Add it onto your retreat, please, and let's have you talk about it some more. And you know, if you have to do something about Melissa's car, you know, go ahead and put something in to take care of that. But
The city clerk could be the first ticket.
anyway, please, you know, we're out in our neighborhood and we get so many complaints, you know, from our neighbors and everything. Can't you do something about this? And, you know, this is something that really needs to be taken care of. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kurt.
Tricia Rollins, 2088 Harbor Oaks. Thank you, Kurt. I don't know, maybe now that Kurt said it, maybe something will get done. We've been complaining and complaining about this for how long? The traffic in our little square, with Oak Road included, Oak Road, Mountain View, Dogwood, 124. It's so loud in there at night, nobody can go to sleep. The motorcycles running up and down. I think he gets a joy out of running up and down 124. But he makes his little track around. You can follow him around. And it's unbearable at times. People are moving out of Snellville because it's so loud and it's obnoxious. That wasn't what I came to speak about tonight, but I congratulate Kurt for getting up here and pushing the issue. What I did come to talk about is Harbor Oaks and 124, the entrance. I wrote you about the entrance there. It is a danger to these kids getting in and out of this car. I have videotaped a car pulling up to the curb of between 4 no parking signs on the opposite lane with a child that jumped out of the van into the traffic lane by herself, 3 to 4 years old. I tried to send the video. I don't know if the video came through to you. I did. It is a danger at this intersection. I have messaged the police department and nothing gets done. I've narrowed down the times that it's really bad with the cut-through traffic that's coming through our neighborhood right now. It is horrible. If you've got the right lane blocked and you've got a car that pulls over into the left lane pulling out, there's nowhere for traffic to cut across 124 into the neighborhood. They're going to hit that car head-on or a child. Okay? Something's got to be done. I understand that you said possibly being looked at for sale. We can't wait for a sale for something to be done. Evidently, the daycare can call on me for sitting there and watching the situation, and a police officer drives up behind me, but I can't get a police officer to come to do something about a car parked in 4 no parking signs, parked in the opposite direction, loading children. Something's got to be done. Thank you.
Thank you, Tricia. Anyone else?
Rose Purdy, 2270 Burlington Lane, Snellville. I want to commend the mayor for saying Merry Christmas. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Anyone else? Seeing none, I will call for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor, raise your hand. That is 6 in favor and none opposed. Thank you all for coming out tonight. Be safe.